Now, this has been controversial in the black business space, and it's not really controversial, but there's been causing a lot of conversation, right? The Honey Pot. This is a company that makes feminine hygiene products. Honey Pot sold majority stake of their company to a company called Compass Diversified for $380 million. From the articles that I read, I haven't seen the breakdown of that 380 million. I don't know if it's 380 in cash. I don't know if it's 380, I haven't seen a breakdown of it. So I can't speak to the particulars of this acquisition, but I do want to say that a lot of conversation has been happening around it. And mostly because, first of all, some of the consumers of these products have been saying that they're worried about the main importance of this brand was how healthy the products were for the woman's body, right? And they were worried about when big business gets involved, then they worry more about margins and they worry more about cutting cost and increasing profits. So they tend to start messing up products that were good or great. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of consumers were worried about that. Then you have people like me. I'm not a consumer of that specific product, but a lot of times I ask founders, especially when they start extremely successful businesses, black founders, like, can we please hold on to these businesses? Because a lot of these companies' entire marketing push, which I won't specifically say that's to Honey Pot because they use the healthy products as their marketing push. But a lot of these companies' whole marketing campaign was around, hey, we're a black company. Come buy black. Our products are good. Buy black, buy black, buy black. So when y'all keep on telling everybody we should be buying black and then you go sell it to a white company, why wouldn't consumers have a problem with that? It's not that people are hating on you for getting money. It's not that people don't want you to elevate and grow and all that and scale up and all this type of stuff. The problem is your marketing was all around black people buying black. So if I switched away from a product I have been using since I was 10 years old to switch over to your product because it's a black company, but it costs way more than what I've been using, really, I'm not saying you have a bad product, but all these products are similar. So I switched over to your product. Now I pay way more for my hygiene products. And then you want to go sell it. So now I could have been, if I'm just going to give money to these white people, I could have been giving it to the one that was cheaper all this time then. You see what I'm saying? So y'all act like consumers shouldn't have any input on who owns the companies that we support, black consumers specifically, right? I don't even understand that. Like, you give pushback like, oh, you never been in a situation where somebody offered you this much money for a business. We're not coming at it from a business owner perspective. We're coming at it from a consumer perspective. One thing that people need to do is read more articles about black consumerism in America. Black people are the number one consumer that cares more about the company's vision and the company's founding and the history of a company than everybody else. We don't just go by the product alone. We want to know your political stance also as black consumers. If we find out that your political vision doesn't align with ours, we're much less likely to buy your brand or your company or products from your company. That's how black consumers make a lot of decisions around this stuff. That's why it's such a big deal when it gets public that a founding member or a CEO or something like that does something racist or something like that. That's always big news in the black community. The reason is because that's how we make our buying decisions a lot of times, right? So for people to just act like, no, y'all shouldn't have any input on what's going on. That's how we have been consuming products for the duration of our time in this country. Since we could buy products, we've always cared about what the owners felt and thought about us, how they felt and thought about the things that we care about, right? Now, I do want to give some, I'm going to cut her some slack anyway. It's not my decision to make anyway. But as far as, because I normally care a lot about this type of stuff, but I'm cut her some slack because she didn't partner. Compass Diversified is not a hygiene products company. They are an investor, publicly owned company that invests in what they call mid-market companies, which is pretty much means not the mega companies and not small companies. They're mid-market companies worth a few $100 million. They invest in them and help them grow into even bigger entities. That's what this company does, right? So I don't think this is one of those situations where when these other hygiene companies sell to Unilever and all that other stuff. This is not like that. Or Johnson & Johnson. This is not like that. This is a straight up investment company. So when they give her money, it's mostly to this is like a major investment in what she's already doing. This company doesn't even have infrastructure in hygiene to say, hey, we're going to come in and change everything. This lady is still the CEO of the company. She's still going to be making all the decisions. They gave her money so that they could get in the business of what she's doing and grow with her. So as they promote her growth, they get to grow also. And then they probably exit at some later point, because that's what they do. They quote unquote acquire businesses. They grow them to a certain point where they feel comfortable, and then they sell off their share because they want to get out. They made their money. They're good. That's what type of company Compass Diversified is. So we're not looking at a, now, yes, of course, since they own a majority stake, they could put pressure on her to make changes if things are not going right. But since things are going right for the honeypot, they don't have to. This company is already in 33,000 stores across the United States. Like we talk, this is not a small business. This is big business. 33,000 stores are carrying and selling this lady's products, the honeypot, excuse me, right? So this acquisition is a little bit different. And this lady, I think her name is Beatrice Dixon. She does still have ownership in the company. She didn't sell everything. She just sold a majority of the company to this company. And again, it's just standard business. This is not one of those companies that's going to change the name, absorb it, get rid of all employees. That's not what this is. So I do salute this. I honestly do salute this. I don't feel the same way about this that I felt about Sundial selling. And shout out to Richard Lou Dennis, because he also was an investor, or they had a grant set up and the honeypot benefited from that. So shout out to him. He has been still putting his money into the hands of black women and all, or black businesses that are owned by women. So shout out to him. And congrats to the honeypot, man. They did what they had to do, and they're still growing. You know, being in 33,000 stores as a black business owner is like top tier. You see what I'm saying? There's not a whole lot of that. Walmart, Target, CVS, Walgreens, to get that type of distribution as a black business owner, you can't do nothing but salute it.